Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, October 14th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started shortly. So just give me a few moments to finish updating everything here. And once we're good to go, we'll start off with our analysis for today. So a couple more things here to update. Looks good. Looks good. All right, solid. All right, cool. With that said, let me send this link out to you guys here in the premium. All right, looks good. Give a few minutes for people to make their way in. All right, so as people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and mark up certain things over here, like the SR zones. So we have one SR zone right here. Out one down there. Right here. And right there. Actually, there's a big one right here. So I'm gonna have to just extend this one out. I'm just gonna draw multiple zones. So it'll be easier to delete them when they disappear. I'm just gonna draw overlapping zones. It's just easier this way, so that I don't have to go and make so many adjustments. This one here is really small. All right, solid. So looks like we're good, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, October 14th. So happy Friday, everyone. It's 6:23 right now, so we have about 7 minutes until market open. I've drawn up the zone so far. Next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to look up news price. So I'm going to do that first before I look at the overall buy, since not everyone's here just yet. So right here, Friday, October 14th, we had news over here at 5:30. It was core retail sales, and import prices. News was kind of all over the place. There was positive, negative, and neutral. So we're just going to put news. We're not going to put whether it was positive or neutral, because they were kind of conflicting with each other. We just want to see how price reacted to it. So as you guys can see right here, this is a 5:30 candle, and this is where the news happened. So this is 5:30 US news. I would say mixed. Other than that, we have more news over here at 7. It's prelim UOM, inflation expectations, and business inventories. Basically all inflation news at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to mark that up over here as well, so that we are aware. Other than that, we have Fed speaking at 7:30. So I'll mark that up over here as well. And I think that's about it. We have news at 7:30, and that's about it. We have more news in the afternoon or later in the day, but it's gonna be way past our live. So good morning, everybody. Currently 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open shortly. I have a couple I have a buy and a sell right here. Marker just lined up. So for the main focus today, we're going to be focusing on the variation V1 and the SR rejection. However, I will be looking at the other strategy that I introduced to you guys as well. We'll look for some entries. I don't think I'll be taking them on my real accounts, just yet until we fully are confirmed that, it's very accurate. For my testing, it is pretty accurate. You just have to trade in the direction of momentum. So if I see those trades, I will mark them up, but I don't necessarily think I'll be taking them unless I tell you guys, pretty distinctly, I'm going to take this trade. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I'll be showing you guys entries, but I'm not going to be taking them for sure just yet, because, we just thought about this yesterday, and it is lucrative and it does hit, but you want to make sure you test it enough before you actually put it in play. So exactly, Patrick said I'm going to be yelling buy, sell, because they do happen so fast. So let's see who's here so far. Morning, Patricia. Morning, Maria. Morning, Peter. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Saren. Morning, everybody. And we'll see where that goes. But I'll keep these open and I'll try to follow them as much as possible. For that specific strategy, we're going to have a lot of, we need a lot of focus. Okay. So I'll try to call them out as they come, and I'll kind of give you guys a hint what we're looking for. So basically, the easiest way to pretty much break it down for you guys is when we have a sell momentum, we're looking for highs, right? We're looking for highs and a continuation down. If we have a buy signal, we're looking for buys, and we're looking for lows with a continuation to the upside. So that's going to be the easiest way to really determine, which direction we're looking at trading. We're trading the direction of momentum. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, if I take any of those on my actual accounts, I will let you guys know, because the only trades that count as official trades are the ones that I take on my actual accounts. If I don't say that I'm going to take them, or if I tell you it's a risky trade, we're just going to follow it, it's not going to count towards the results for the week. Only the ones that I actually take are going to count. Because if I was counting every single trade, then we would have like 20 wins this week, because we had so many wins yesterday. But I'm not counting these trades here. These are just speculative, because we're still testing out the strategy. So just keep that in mind, guys. All right. So other than that, let me take a look at the overall bias real quick. So retail sentiment is currently 51% long. Fundamentals are currently up 281. Take a look at the overall trend. Bullish on the 4-hour, bullish on the 1-hour, bullish on the 30-minute, bullish on the 15, and bullish on the 1. Okay, so we have a lot of confirmations that price is likely to be bullish today, but we'll see. Pretty much all of the technical biases are indicating towards a buy, because the 4 hours bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 15, 10 are all bullish. Fundamentals are also up 291 points. The difference here is that the retail sentiment is at 51% long. So it's right down the middle. So it looks like long-term bias here is a buy. Short-term bias is going to be a sell. But this may be shifting when we get to the inflation news here at 7 o'clock. So what might happen here is price might be propped up right here because it's preparing for the big dump that happens here at 7 o'clock, since the inflation news is not likely to be good. So other than that, morning, Karen, and I think we're ready to kick off the last trading day of this week. Market is opening in about 1 minute. So there are no variations here and no SR rejections. In order for us to have an SR rejection, we need the trend meter down here to be red, because momentum right now is currently red. Also for the new, let's call it the, I gotta find a name for this, because the high-low scalp is, I think the name's already taken. Yeah, the high-low scalp name's already taken, so I'll probably call it something else, like high-low wick rejection scalp or something like that. Anyways, this would technically be a setup for a sell here using that high-low scalp wick rejection, right? I'm not going to take this trade here, but I'll mark it up for you guys to show you where the entry would be. So we have a high right here and we have a sell momentum. So this is what we're looking for. On the next candle, we're looking for that wick rejection. So now that the high is gone, it's no longer going to be the catalyst for this candle entry. We're looking for a high here for that specific strategy. So nothing there yet. Market is now open, volatility super low. So volatility is pretty low right now. There goes, price drops down. The sessions right here. So no variations, no high-low scalps, or no variations, no SR scalps, and no high-low wick rejections either. So there's nothing right now at the moment. I'll try to be as detailed as possible. I'll continuously be looking for variation V1s, looking for SR scalps and high-low wick rejections. The trend meter down here is now red. So this might be a possible SR scalp if it closes as a moderate red candle. Looking for this to close as a moderate red candle. I don't know if anyone's having issues with MFF with your copier, but for some reason, MFF is not, well, only one of my accounts is not connecting. I don't know what's going on with that. So I don't know if anyone has any issues with their copiers connecting MFF, but for some reason, one of my MFF keeps disconnecting. Been trying to connect it all morning. Yeah, Maddie said he can see a manipulation up, then dump for news. It's at 1 hour demand right now, then it has a nice 1 hour up top to go. Yeah, I can see that too, Maddie. So we're still looking at this right here as a possible entry for an SR scalp. It's at the very last seconds. Wick on the bottom is too big. It's bigger than the body, so we can't take that there. However, it would have been a nice full TP right here if it did close as a moderate red candle. Also, the candle here was too big. So no entry off that there, unfortunately. So as I mentioned right here, guys, this was the SR scalp that we were waiting for. We had the wick rejection off top. We had the red candle right here, sell momentum, trend meter was red. The only difference here was that we didn't have a moderate red candle. So no entry off that there. But this was a possible SR scalp. So there's 3 things we're looking for, guys. V1, SR scalp, and high-low wick rejection. That's about it. Jonathan said, call it the wick scalp. Yeah, we'll have to find a name that's a little easier to follow. I mean, high-low wick scalp sounds okay right now, but we'll see if we can find a better name for it. We just have so many strategies, but since we're testing it during live conditions right here, we'll see where it goes. So here goes, price pushes up. If this closes with a bullish momentum, then we will have our direction change for the high-low wick scalp or high-low wick rejection, whatever that's called. Kenny's asking, how about KB scalp? What does KB stand for, Kenny? I mean, we could use it if it makes sense. Unless those are your initials. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I see. No, I see what you did there. Nice, Kenny. KB scalp. I don't know if it'll work out to be naming it after him if we don't know this is how he's actually trading. Because people are going to ask what the KB stands for. So maybe not that one, but that is a catchy. That would have been good. I mean, it would have been better if Kevin was still here. He's currently not in the group right now. I haven't talked to him lately. I think he said he was coming back, but currently not in the group, so we don't typically want to use his name unless he's in the group. Patrick said, I mean, Rick has Rick BTO. And all right, back to open. All right, guys. So back over here again, real quick. We have a possible SR scalp entry. If this closes as a moderate red candle, which it's not going to, it doesn't look like it, would have been a SR scalp. Oh, you know what? This would have been, I totally just missed it. I blanked out. This would have been a, well, I don't know what the entry would have been, but I'm assuming it would be like right here. This would have been one of the high-low rejections. I don't know where the entry would have been, though. The entry probably would have been down here, though, because the wick started earlier on. So as you guys can see, they happen really fast. If you guys are not familiar with that wick rejection strategy, basically you're looking for the direction of momentum. So for example, here we have a sell momentum. You have a high here. The next candle, you're just looking for the first possible wick. The wick came like somewhere above this area. So when it came above that area, this would have been the entry, and it would have been a full TP right there. So I'll try to show you guys more examples as we go along. The issue with this strategy here is that you have to test it real time. So looking for another SR scalp right there, but there wasn't one. It's a really choppy market this morning. But what I was saying earlier, guys, with the high-low wick rejection, you know, I need to think of a name now because I don't know what to call it. We'll just call it high-low wick. But yeah, we'll call it high-low wick rejection. So basically, for the high-low wick rejection, we can only test this real time because you can't break down the candles by the second, right? So when I see examples here, I'll show you guys, and we'll keep testing as price goes along. We're not going to take it as official entries yet because it's not an official strategy. It's just an idea that I came up with yesterday because I saw the pattern play out so often, and you guys saw how much profit I locked in taking those trades back to back. So we'll be testing it, but it's not necessarily going to be considered any official trade unless I tell you guys that I'm taking it. So if I tell you guys I'm taking it, then we'll count the trade. If I tell you I'm not taking it, we're just following it, then it's not going to count because we need to test it out first before we actually take them on our live accounts. So let's see where we're at right now. We currently have a bullish momentum. So with the bullish momentum, we're now looking for lows, right? So when you have a sell momentum, we're looking for highs. If we have a buy momentum, we're looking for lows. That's going to be on top of the V1s, on top of the SR scalps. So we'll see what this goes. Patrick said, so KB scalp makes sense. Oh, well. Yeah, no, KB scalp would have made sense if he was here. But if not, I don't know. Actually, it's not bad. We'll just I'll figure out our explanation for that KB scalp. All right, so there's a possible V1 over here, but we're not going to take any sells for V1s because the overall bias here is bullish, right? So the V1 requires an overall bias. We don't have that here. So for V1s, we're looking for buys. For the SR scalps, we're looking for buys here as well because the trend meter is currently green. And for the KB scalp, we're also looking for buys here because the momentum here is bullish. Yeah, Patrick said, he said a KB scalp. Let's call it KB scalp for today until we figure out what's next. Okay. Kenny said it's his kid's first initials. Never would have thought you had like a middle name there or something, Kenny. Since I know the K came from your name, but trying to figure out what B stood for, but it makes sense now. Let's see. Patrick's asking, isn't this wick scalp kind of like a variation of a high-low engulfing candle pattern we were playing a couple months back? Yeah, basically, it basically is. Patrick, it's just a more quicker paced entry because like for that one, For most of the entries that we take, we wait for the candles to close. For this specific strategy, we don't wait for the candle to close. We just wait for the wick. As soon as we see the wick off the high low, then we enter it right away. Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing, but we're just getting in a lot earlier. Because the thing is, when the volatility is high, you can catch those balances like super quickly. Because typically when you see something like that, like for example, say we had a high low here, or I'll use this as the example right here, right? So, or this wouldn't work because we had a sell momentum. Okay, like this one right here. So we had a buy momentum right here. Price pulled back a little bit, and then you can literally catch the push back up, because when it pushes back up, it's just a continuation of where it was going to go anyways, right? So super, super simple. Maddie's asking what the strategy is. So for the strategy, Maddie, basically, we don't have the requirements for it because we just went over it yesterday. So we don't have anything that's really set in stone. But what I'm figuring out right now, and I went over with Patricia because Patricia's been looking at it. A lot of people in the group have been testing it out last night, and they said it worked amazingly during Asia session. So it seems to work all throughout the day. The only difference is like you don't want to trade it when the spread's too high, because when the spread's too high, volatility is too low. When the spread's lower, volatility is faster. It allows you to hit your TP super quickly. But just a quick explanation for it, Maddie, like for example, if we have a bullish momentum here, we're looking for the lows. If we have a low like something like this, the next candle, once we have a wick rejection off the next one, then we're gonna take the buy here. So I'll show you an example if I could see one, but we don't see any of these, you know, here right now. You probably want to go back and rewatch the live session for yesterday. We'll be going over this for a while during the mentoring sessions, but the problem with this going over this during the mentoring sessions is that we don't have the real-time candles here. So let me show you, there might be an example right here. So this next candle right here, if we get a wick, which we did right here, this would be an entry. So as soon as we get a wick like that right there, this would be an entry for a buy. Or I mean, it's kind of hard to tell right here because the thing with this right here is that it's right at the red flag. So we actually wouldn't take this here. I got to show you an example that's away from these sessions, because the red flags still apply for this specific strategy. So if I find a better example, I'll show you, but we just don't have one right here right now specifically. But basically, whenever price comes down like this, when you see a wick, that's where you hop in right away. And then you just catch it as it retraces back up or retraces to whatever direction it was going originally. That's why you're going the direction of momentum. But you still have to skip these sessions here. So this wouldn't count because it's right at the sessions. But if I see one out here in the open, I'll show you. Yeah, Maddie said I see. So you pretty much enter right away. Yeah, pretty much as soon as you see the wick, you just enter right away because you're just looking for that quick little push back up. Because, you know, sometimes you'll see how price gets kind of choppy where it'll kind of come down a little bit, spike up slightly, hit your TP, and then come back into whatever direction it's going next. Yeah, Natasha's asking that push me for 100 pips. Yeah, it's just like every other 1 minute strategy. It's for 100 pips. You're just going for a quick little move. It's nothing crazy. It's just because you can see like each candle here moves like at least 100 pips, right? This is how big of a move we're going for. Whenever you're looking at these entries right here, they're just bouncing, right? They're bouncing around. So it's enough to hit your TP and you can pull out. That's why it's important that you guys use the DOM or use the FTMO Quick Trade Manager, because you don't have time to really think about it, right? You got to take the trade as soon as it happens, and you got to pull out as soon as it hits TP, because it's going to hit TP really quickly. Let me scroll up real quick. Yeah, Maria said she tested it yesterday and she has 16 winning trades. Nice. Yeah, no, it's super solid, Maria. So Maria, you can see right there, Maria's an example right there. She tested it herself last night, and then she locked in 16 winning trades. It's a lot of wins. Scrolling down a little bit. Yeah, Patricia said, Sean, I noticed you need to wait for it to be in your direction, and it has to happen right away. Yeah, exactly, Patricia. So you got to be waiting for it. Yeah, Patricia said, sorry, the wick to be in your direction. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what what I was mentioning earlier. So like when you're looking for a sell, you need the wick on top because you need it in the direction of your trade. And then vice versa, you need the same thing for the buys. So like for buys, you're looking for a low and you're looking for the bottom wick. For you looking for sells, you're looking for a high and you're looking for a top wick. So you're trading directly in the direction of your trade. Yeah, and immediately as well. So as soon as you see the wick, you just got to hop in right away and then run through with it. This looks like it could have been a possible high-low scalp, but the wick on the bottom is too big. The wick on the bottom is about 160 pips. The body here is 130 pips. So it looks like there could have been SR scalp right here, but it doesn't fit the criteria because the wick on the bottom is too big. However, if that was taken, it would have been a full TP. This one over here, another SR rejection. However, it's right at the sessions right now. Jonathan's asking, does a high-low repaint? Yeah, if it's not established, the high-low does repaint. Jonathan, that's why you have to do it real time. Because the thing is, like, when prices bounce around this area, or I mean, obviously there's not going to be anything around here because we were watching, but if it does repaint, it'll, like, you won't be able to see where the previous high lows are. That's why you have to do it real time. Also, because you're looking for that wick rejection right away. So yes, it does repaint if it hasn't been established. Typically, it'll be established if like 2 or 3 candles pass it. And you know, that happens pretty quickly. So most of the time, it doesn't repaint unless it's going heavily in one direction. That's why you need to trade in the direction of momentum. Because typically, if you're trading for a sell and you get a high, it's probably not going to repaint because it's just going to create a high and then continue dropping even lower. There's another SR scalp right here. The only problem with this is that it's right at the sessions. So big red flag right there. Not a direction that we would be trading in. All right, so let's see. We had a pretty choppy market for Friday today. I was kind of expecting it because of the movements we had all week, but it's okay. We'll try to make the best of it here. We can hopefully find something along the way. So here we go. The fake out price came down, tested the sessions. It's coming right back up right here. Delete some of these zones here that are no longer in use. All right, so those zones are cleaned up. Back to it right here. We still have a sell momentum, so we're looking for a high. We don't have any highs right here. We're looking for a high for the V1s, and we're looking for highs here for the KB scalps. Well, let's call it KB scalp right now until we figure out a better name for it. If you guys have any ideas, you know, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll see if it's a good name. It's just got to be something quick because I can't be calling out a long name like, oh, here's the high-low wick rejection scalp, whatever, right? If anything, we'll just go back to high-low scalp or high-low rejection. But yeah, Pat said we're paying homage to a trading legend, LOL. Yeah, quick scalp. Yeah, that's probably a better name, Patricia mentioned. So we could probably just call it a high-low quick scalp. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna go with that. Thanks, Patricia. It's just weird calling someone's name and they're just not in the room right now. I mean, I'm sure he'll be back. Sometimes people just need to take breaks. All right. So we're looking for V1s. In order for us to get a V1, we need these high lows. For V1 normal and V1 continuation, either or they both go in the same direction of these high lows. We're looking for high lows here for V1s. We're looking for price to be below the sessions right here for a SR scalp. And we're looking for a high here for a high-low quick scalp. So if you guys are new here, this is probably not making any sense to you, but if you guys have been around for a while, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys are new here and you guys want to learn about this stuff, make sure to attend the mentoring session on Monday, because I'm going to be going over this stuff in detail. I mean, the V1 and the SR scalps are going to be like the staples for our everyday trading, because they work pretty much all year round. For the high-low quick scalp, this is something that we're going to try to incorporate more into our trading here. I think that's what our live sessions have to do with, right? We have to focus on just one, 2 or 3 strategies, because if we have too many strategies to look at, it's going to be really difficult to go between them, because we're going to forget the requirements, we're going to mix them up, and there's just going to be a lot of confusion. Thanks, Brian. We got news coming up right here in 10 minutes at 7 o'clock. This is inflation news. So be ready, guys. This is probably going to cause some spikes in the market as we, continue to move along. All right. So let's see what we've got over here. So we have a high right here. So this is going to be a quick scalp, possible quick scalp entry. So this would be the entry right here for the quick scalp. And you can see right there, it hit full TP already. Did you guys see that? Happened super quickly. So let me go over the strategy again right here. I didn't take the trade, but it did hit full TP super quickly right there. It went right past the TP. So the way that this worked right here, and Maddie, if you're paying attention, we have a sell momentum right here, right? So you're looking for a high. We have a sell momentum right here. So price comes down. We look for the high to close out right there. And then on this next candle right here, as soon as we see a wick, that's where the entry would be taken. So price will push up. And then as soon as you see a wick anywhere, that's where you would take the entry. And that's where it would hit full TP right there. And you can see right there, it's pushing lower. It's just a continuation in the direction of momentum. So right there, blasted right through the TP. And you can see how fast these entries come up. The cool thing too with Patricia, and thanks for doing this, Patricia, she actually meant, she messaged, and there's another V1 right here, V1 continuation. So you can see how these trades come in bunches. There was a V1 right here, and then there's another, well, this was a high-low quick scalp, and then there's a V1 right here that came up, V1 continuation. There's a double body right here, and then it blasted right through. So two back-to-back trades right there. But yeah, thanks, Patricia. As I was saying earlier, Patricia messaged TFF because they've had issues in the past where they don't allow scalping. She actually asked them directly, and she took a screenshot of their message saying that they're agreeing that this strategy is okay for their broker. So thanks for doing that, Patricia. And that gives me peace of mind so that I can apply these strategies and not have to worry about my accounts being screwed because they don't like scalpers sometimes. Yeah, you enter as soon as you see the wick, Maddie. So again, right here, now you're looking for another high. So you're looking for price to establish another high. And as soon as you see the wick on the following candle, you take the entry, like right away. I'm still having issues with one of my MFF accounts, guys. I'm looking at my copy right here. It's not connecting. Not sure if anyone else is having, the same issue. Keeps disconnecting my account for some reason. So Maddie's asking, so the wick is going to be super small when you enter, right? Yeah, as soon as you see the wick, just hit that sell. So you have to be, you have to really be paying attention when you see the high come up for a sell. You just got to be waiting with your finger on the sell button. As soon as you see the wick, you enter the trade, and then it should drop down your TP right away. Okay, thanks, Patricia. Yeah, Patricia said there's something wrong with one of the main brokers. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming because it's just one of my MFF accounts. I have 3 MFF accounts. Only one of them is not connecting to my copier. I was having the same issue with my main FTMO account last night too. I don't know if there was issues happening with them because as I mentioned before, guys, I don't have access to that email anymore. So I'm not sure if they were sending emails out and I just wasn't getting them, but yeah, for whatever reason, one of my MFF is not connecting. But I had the same issue yesterday with FCMO for my main account. Yeah, exactly. Patricia said, of course, blame inflation news, LOL. Yeah, that's going to be the thing, right? They're going to say, oh, our servers were down because the thing is, a lot of people have been gambling off these inflation news. You guys have seen it before, right? You guys have seen other traders who are just gambling. So a lot of these funding companies and brokers, they're just not working around inflation news because they don't want people to be taking these risky trades because they can lose a lot of money if you think about it. If it goes through slippage and price spikes like, 1,000 pips, they can lose a lot of money. They can make a lot of money, but they can more than likely lose a lot of money because a lot of these people are going to have their stops in place. And it's probably not going to respect the stops. So, yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, Patricia, it makes sense. It's like my accounts were working perfectly fine all week, and then all of a sudden it stops working. When the biggest inflation news comes out at 7 o'clock, inflation news is coming right here at 7. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest news for today. We got 7 o'clock news right here. Prelim UOM, consumer sentiment, prelim UOM, inflation expectations, and business inventories. So I wouldn't be surprised if this becomes a usual thing where their brokers are quote unquote down because of some news event or something. I mean, if I was a broker, I wouldn't blame them because there's too much risk involved, especially when you have a lot of people gambling on their funding accounts and stuff. Yeah, be smart about it. All right, so the news is coming up in about 5 minutes, guys, 4 minutes actually. So we can't take any trades from now until the news price, and then this will pass on until the next 5 minutes after it. So we'll keep looking for possible entries here, but there's nothing for us to take at the moment. For our V1s, we're looking for buys here. There's no buys here for any V1s. There was a sell here for a V1. That's the reason why I wouldn't have taken it, because the sentiment here is just so strong for a buy. SR scalps are fine. Those are ones that I wouldn't mind taking in either direction. The trend meter down here is red, so we're looking for sells here. We need to sell momentum in order for us to take any of these trades, but we do have news coming up shortly, so not one that I could necessarily take right now. We'll keep looking. I'm just going to leave that MFF alone. I guess that MFF is just not going to work for today. I'm looking over here on my social trader tools. I'm trying to see what's wrong with it. It just says failed to establish a connection with the broker server contact support. It's weird because my other MFFs are perfectly fine. They're all checked off. It's just that one MFF account. All right, so looking at this right here, since we have a buy momentum, we're looking for a low to establish. So there's a couple of different possibilities here that we're looking for. We have one that is a possible SR scalp if we get a wick rejection off structure and a sell signal. That's going to be an SR scalp. For two, we might have a high-low quick scalp for a buy if we get a low established at some point here. We're basically just looking for continuation in the direction of momentum. Maria said that V1 at open price, Sean. Let me check real quick. Oh yeah, what happens to the open price thing? Oh, it's right here. Market open right here. Let's move this to the front. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, so the V1 over here was actually at opening price. Thanks, Maria, for the heads up there, because I didn't even see that. I'll have to make this thicker. I barely see it. Let's make it a little thicker like that for now. Just so that we can see it, because I didn't even realize opening price is right there at that V1. Yeah, so that V1 right there would have been skipped. It was right at the red flag opening price. All right, man. News is coming up in about 15 seconds, guys. I'm expecting some crazy spike to happen here. So if you're in a position, I mean, best of luck to you if it spikes in your direction. Expecting this to move a little crazy right here. There he goes. Price starts to spike down. A lot of liquidity on the bottom right here. I mean, we already anticipated this to drop. I'm not going to gamble the market right here. Big spike right there to the downside. It's inflation news. We already anticipated it to be bad, but I didn't want to gamble here because even though this thing is really dropping, even though we already anticipated it to be bad, yeah, obviously I don't want to get caught in any of these moves here. Pretty much just knocked out liquidity on the bottom side. So I drew up liquidity over here, as you guys can see, and it's dropping. And the reason why I know it's going to come down like this, guys, is because we're going into a recession, right? A lot of people just are blind to it, but it's pretty obvious that we're going to a recession. And that means that whenever inflation news comes out, it's just going to be negative, right? So just be careful, guys, if you guys are taking these trades here. I know these are very risky, but I mean, if the brokers are starting to disconnect, you know, like my MFF's not working right now. Like say, for example, you're in a sell and you're trying to chase that trade down, right? A gamble. If your copiers can't like get you out of the trade, you're screwed. All your accounts are going to be blown. So if you're to take trades like this, I would recommend taking them on, you know, just one account. So if you blow an account, just one account. Don't attach them to your other accounts because, you know, a couple accounts maybe will pull out, some will probably not. And it will not end well. From personal experience, because I used to trade news before. And I've blown an account just trading news like NFP one time. It was a long time ago, but it's happened to me before. Maddie said he caught on his yellow account. Yeah, nice, Maddie. That's solid. I mean, if you guys have one YOLO account, that's cool, but I wouldn't take it on your main ones. So Patrick over here posted some profits. Patrick is currently up 5,133 for the day. Nice work, Patrick. Maria over here said the first one, she was afraid, but it went to TP. So Maria over here took some trades here as well. She's currently up well over 700 for the day. Nice work, Maria. Maddie over here as well. He said recouped some of his losses from last night. Currently up 6,705. Solid work right there, Maddie. Scotty over here as well posted up his profits, locked in a total profit of 2,385. Nice work, Scotty. All right, guys, solid. So if you guys have profits to post up, feel free to post them up. Otherwise, we'll keep looking for trades here. All right, so on this one right here, there was actually an entry. I don't know if you guys saw that for the high-low quick scalp. There was an entry here for a buy. So you can see right here how there was a low. As soon as this candle here provided a wick, it would have been the entry right there for a buy. You can see it would have hit, probably would have TP before it came down. So another example over there of a high-low quick scalp. Just gonna wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. We still have a buy signal here. And we still got to wait for this news to pass 5 minutes after it, which is going to be here in the next 2 minutes. 7:03 right now, so around 7:05, we can start looking for entries again. Let's take a look at the sentiment, see if things have changed. See, the sentiment is not loading. I'm assuming it's going to be right down the middle, though. I don't think it's changed too much. Fundamentals just lost 500 points in like 10 seconds, right? It was at like 500 plus 500 earlier. Now it's at 50 points. So we'll see how that continues. Looking over here on the 4-hour, still bullish. 1 hour, bullish. 30-minute, bullish. 15-minute, it's neutral bullish. That's 15. $10 is bullish. So it's still fine right now for the most part. We still have that buy signal right there. So we're looking for price to, obviously come back up. Right here, we have a wick rejection off the structure, but it's right at the session. So we can't take any entries right there. There's no V1s. There's no high-low quick scalps. So in order for us to get a high-low quick scalp, we need to have a low. So we don't have it here yet. Here goes, price corrects right back up to where news price was. News price was right over here. Gotta change this, too thick. So we had news right there. Let me just check the news real quick and see where it was. So the news was positive, surprisingly. So consumer sentiment was positive. Inflation expectations were higher. So it's neutral, but it's still higher. Business inventories were also bullish. So although the news was good, it didn't play out good. It still took a huge dump right there. Let's see. Maddie said that scalp hit. So there's no entry right here, Maddie. You're trading the direction of momentum. So we don't have a sell momentum right here. Yeah, I know. I would have seen that too if there was a sell signal. It would have been a good one. But you can see, so this is the main thing I wanted to show you guys. This is where the candle wick starts, right? So you can see right here, it goes up at least 150 pips. And you can see right here as it comes back down, it drops at least, 200 pips or so. So the thing is, if you're looking for a 100 pip scalp between this area, it's enough space for you to hit your TP. That's what I'm trying to get across to you guys. So like, that's the logic behind this trade here. You can see how volatile these candles are. If you're looking for a quick 100 pip move, it's very possible, right? Like, for example, here we have the high and you have a wick off the next candle, right? This is what Maddie identified. You would have caught that for a quick 100 pips. Doesn't matter where you made the entry. Even if you entered late down here, you still would make your 100 pips. It's super easy. It's like you're just getting in trade super quickly as price bounces around, because these candles are big enough to hit your TP. It doesn't matter whether it goes up, whether it goes down. You have a wide enough stop loss to like cushion your trade here. So if you enter a trade right here, your TP, enter down here, still hit your TP, right? And that's how it works for the most part. So I'll try to find you guys a good example. We haven't seen any good examples yet, but once I do find one, I'll show you guys. But it's been super, super lucrative. A lot of you guys here have been applying it more than me because I don't really trade during Asia. But Karen did show me yesterday that, we were talking about it. She said that it's crazy because it's been hitting all throughout Asia session. So the only problem is the spread's super wide, volatility is low. So it's going to be hard for you guys to really, get in and out of those trades during Asia session. It might be something good during London, US, New York session. But you also want to be careful during the off hours, like between 8 and 9. I start to notice the market starting to move kind of weird. So gosh, yeah. Maddie said wick off level 2 full TP. Jonathan's asking my trade pre-market today. No, I didn't. I meant there was a lot of good trades, Jonathan. I saw like about 3 or 4 this morning, like around like 5:30 or something. And I didn't take them because I was trying to fix my MFF account over here before I took any trades. And I missed the entries. There was like 3 back to back. But my MFF account's still not working. So it's all good. But yeah, I missed about like 3 back to back entries. Stern said he noticed if the high-low wick is long, it is almost 100% hit. Yeah, no, and I see that too, Stern. Like, for example, this one right here that Maddie identified, the wick was huge. So it was, almost like a guaranteed hit. So we still have a bullish momentum right here, guys. We're looking for a sell here. So here's the I'm trying not to confuse you guys, but I'll go over each strategy specifically. For a V1, we're looking for a buy here. The reason why we're looking for a buy for the V1 is because the overall bias here is bullish, right? You can see everything here is bullish. So for the variations, we're looking for buys here. For the SR rejections, we're looking for a sell here because the trend meter is currently red. So this might be an entry right here for an SR rejection. If this closes with a sell signal and a moderate red candle, that's going to be for an SR. For the high-low quick scalp, we're looking for a buy. The main reason for that is because we have a bullish momentum right here, right? We're mainly looking at these bullish momentums. So there's actually one right here. I totally missed it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was one that was right here. Because I just noticed there was a low here. So there was a low, and this candle right here, when it started to wake up, this would have been a TP for whatever direction it came in. So I'll keep looking for entries here. But yeah, that's a quick breakdown for what we're looking for here. We're looking for a buy for the variation V1s. There's no entry for that right now, obviously. We're looking for a sell for the SR scalps because we have a trend meter here that's red. And then we have, we're looking for a possible, if this closes with the sell signal, we'll be looking for some sells here as well for the high-low quick scalps. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If it doesn't, it's fine. You know, feel free to ask questions, guys. Pop your questions in the chat, and I'll try to break it down for you guys. But yeah, they're three completely different strategies, so try not to mix them up. The high-low quick scalp is very, very high pace, so you have to really be focused and paying attention. That's what I'm trying to test out. And there's so many zones here, so it's getting kind of messy with all of these zones coming up. Kind of makes me want to just take the zones off. There's just too much going on right here. These zones overlapping. All right, that zone's gone. That zone's gone. All right, we're getting some pretty big spikes right here. So now we have a sell momentum. Going here. This could be a possible SR rejection scalp, but I mean, the candle looks too big. So we need this to close as a moderate red candle. It doesn't look like it's going to close like that at all. So we'll see where this goes. All right. Let's go to the 10-minute real quick. So the 10-minute is actually bearish now. Obviously, these lower time frames are going to change quicker. So 10-minute and 15-minute is now bearish. This overall bias is going to shift our V1 direction. Price is right at the sessions right here. There's no entry that we can take at the moment. You guys just keep in mind, it's all about discipline and patience, right? Obviously, I know there's a lot of risky trades that you guys can take here, but they're right at these red flags, these sessions. It's better to have, you know, 1 or 2 wins a day and no losses rather than have 1 loss and a bunch of wins, or a couple losses and a bunch of wins, because they're going to balance themselves out. So main goal here is to look for these quality entries that have not come up yet. So I'm following this here. We have about a minute of analysis. So like basically each candle has a minute because these are the 1-minute time frame. You have basically a minute to analyze everything quickly. So if I ever see anything here, the main things that I'll be looking for are going to be the high lows, because that's going to be for the variations, and the high low quick scalps, and wick rejections. Those are the main things. So there's no high lows here. With no high lows, we can pretty much scrap the idea of any variations or high low quick scalps. The main thing we'll be looking for here is going to be an SR scalp rejection, or SR rejection scalp, which could possibly happen right here. Price pushes up a little higher, wicks off the actual structure, then we can possibly have a sell coming here for an SR scalp. Price is not rejected off the structure though, so this is not going to count. Price has to actually pull into the structure, wick off it, like be within the structure here, and then continue back down. All right, so nothing here yet. All right, still nothing. All right, so right here we have a low. And this would provide for a possible V1 entry, but the overall trend and direction over here is starting to shift. So it's not going to be a good V1. Typically, you want all these here to line up. This basically was all bullish earlier. So if it was still bullish right now, then it would be a possible V1 that I would be willing to take. However, for one, this candle is too big, so we can't take that. It's going to be one of the biggest red flags. And for two, we don't have a direction here anymore, right? So at this point, the V1s might not be as reliable. However, we do have an SR scalp coming right here. We need this to close as a moderate red candle, but the candle looks like it might be a little too big. Yeah. So we have an SR scalp right here. We have the wick rejection off the structure. The main problem here is that the wick on the bottom is too big. And if the wick on the bottom isn't too big, this candle here is going to be too large. So this is as far as price can go. Right? If he goes anywhere below that, the candle is too big. If he goes anywhere above that, the wick on the bottom is too big. So we can't take this entry here for a K2 SR scalp. Does that make sense to you guys? So yeah, the candle here is just too big. So I just want to make sure that you guys are really understanding this stuff, because it's really not that difficult. If you guys can really drill in on these three strategies, initially it was two strategies. So this is not an entry. I'm going to take that off. Candle is just too big. If you could drill down on these three strategies, mainly two, the V1s, continuation and regular, SR scalps, and now the high-low quick scalps. I mean, this is all you guys really need. I mean, honestly, you don't need too much. I know we have multiple strategies you guys can apply, but and you guys can still apply them. But if you guys are having a lot of confusion with the strategies, then these main two ones are the ones that you should be following. Volatility is kind of higher now. So we have no wick rejection off the structure right here. So no entries coming up anytime soon. So this SR scalp right here would have hit full TP. Unfortunately, we couldn't take it because the candle here was too big. I mean, it was like right on point. But you guys can see it did hit TP. So for this red candle right here, wick rejection off structure, sell momentum, trend meter is red. We'll measure the wick on the bottom. Wick on the bottom was 170 pips. Let's round that up. And the body was 230. So this technically would have been an okay entry for us to take. The only problem is that the candle overall was just a little too big. But that would have been the SR scalp right there. Still trying to get my MFF count up, but might just have to let it be for the day. Nice. Yeah. So Natasha said she likes the quick scalp. I think the quick scalp will probably be one of the easiest ones. As long as you guys can focus, the quick scalp is going to be one of the easier ones to apply. You just have to really, really not get greedy, because it happens way too fast. So the thing with these quick scalps, guys, is you guys got to pull out. You got to make sure you're using the DOM or you're using the FTMO quick trade manager. Because if not, you can get caught in a pretty nasty trade, especially if you're not paying attention to how volatile the market is. Yeah, Natasha said yes, it's easier than the SR rejection for her. She struggles with that one. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, they're both pretty fast paced. I think what you should do is just find one that you really like this one right here, Natasha, and just focus on this one then, if that's the case. Once you're good on that one, you can move on to the next one. But yeah, if you're continuing to have issues with the SR scalp, then you should probably just hold off on. I know the SR scalp's a little difficult for people because of the zones here. It's hard for people to follow along, especially when the zones overlap like this. And the other one's just a little more straightforward. So we have no high lows right here. No high lows means there's no variations and there's no high low quick scalps. There's a low right here, but this isn't going to count because we need a high for a high low quick scalp when the momentum is pushing down. Kenny said you can call the new scalp the range scalp. So I don't think that would make sense, Kenny, because we're not trading in the range. This specific strategy is for directional movement. So that's why we're trading the direction of momentum. The SR scalp is a ranging scalp move. So I think you got the two mixed up. So here's the difference. The variations are directional strategies because you're trading the direction of momentum and you're trading the direction of overall bias. So you need a bias for that specific strategy. For the SR scalp, that's one that you can trade in a ranging market. So I think that's the one that you're getting mixed up. SR scalp is the one that's ranging. And then the new one, the high low quick scalp, is also a directional strategy as well, because you're trading the direction of momentum. So if price is going down, you're only looking for sells. If price is going up, you're looking for buys. Does that make sense, Kenny? So I think you just might have confused the two. So yeah, that name unfortunately would not work out. But I mean, it would have worked out if that was the case, if that was the type of strategy that we were playing. All right, so we're looking for a high here. For the variations, we're looking for a high. And for the high low quick scalps, we're looking for a high as well. There's not going to be any entries here for the SR scalps because it's just so far away from the zone. But you can see here that it's starting to shift because price is coming down. So let me go to the 30-minute real quick. It's still bullish. 60-minute is still bullish. 4-hour still bullish. 15-minute is bearish. 10-minute is bearish, and the 1-minute is bearish as well. So we'll keep checking this to see if things change. The fundamentals should be dropping. So let me go over here real quick, refresh this. Fundamentals are down 200 points. That's crazy because it was up like 500 points earlier. And now it is down 200 points. So the market is starting to crater right now. It's dropped quite a bit from open. Heat map over here as well. Looks like it should be changing. Yeah, the heat map over here is also shifting quite a bit. Sentiment right now is currently 54% long. So not much is really changing right now. It's just, I mean, it's shifting to a sell now. Obviously, you guys can see the 30-minute trend will probably change in a bit. The main reason I know that is because price is below the pivots. If this candle here closes below the pivots, then the trend meter is going to start changing for that as well. So there's no SR scalps here. The only main things we can look for are variations and these high-low quick scalps. Thanks, Brian. Brian confirmed that the Fed member Cook is going to be speaking in 5 minutes. I think that's what I have marked up right here, right? At 7:30. Let me check real quick. Yeah, we have Fed member Cook speaking at 7:30 in about 5-6 minutes. Check my FX book real quick. All right, so that's about it for today with news. But we do have Fed member Cook speaking in about 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes from now. Yeah, so thanks, Brian, for that heads up. Let's see. Let's see. Maddie said, I think it's going to continue to drop to the London high. Yeah, where's the London high at? Yeah, it's going to be the target price point right there. London high. You can see that too, Maddie. This is news from yesterday. Yeah, as you guys can see, the market's super flat right now. They're waiting for the Fed to speak at 7. Not really expecting too much to happen until then. So you just gotta wait. The market is super, I mean, it's literally dead right now. It seems like a lot of people are just waiting for the Fed to speak. The Fed's gonna give an update on like the news that was just released. They're gonna use that to explain how does that coincide with their analysis of like what they plan on doing to prevent the recession. But I mean, there's not much that can be done, right? So we have a pending bullish momentum right here. We also have a high. So if this doesn't close right here, or I mean, if it closes how it is right now, this provides a possible entry for a high-low quick scalp. So here goes an example of a high-low quick scalp right here. So there's no wick yet. But if price pushes up and comes back down, this would be a possible entry for a high-low quick scalp. So price hasn't come up yet, hasn't provided a wick rejection, so still no entry there. We're looking for his price to come up, come back down, provide a wick rejection, and continuation back to the downside. Yeah, exactly. Just you said I wouldn't take without wick right away. Yeah. So you'd have to actually wait for the wick to show, guys. That's the main thing that you guys have to keep in mind, right? Yeah, you have to wait for that wick. You can't just hop in because the candle closes and you think it's going to happen. You have to actually confirm it and wait for it to actually happen. So there's no wick there, no entry. Yeah, Patricia said I don't take those wick in direction, has to show right away. If it doesn't, I do not take. Yeah, exactly, Patricia. And I agree with you too. That's why for this right here, you got to wait for it to actually push up a little bit. Sometimes it's okay to be patient, guys, because it gives you the opportunity. Like there's a lot of time where you can actually, even if you enter late, you can still catch your move. So. Yeah, so yeah, and Patricia did mention that this was or does the V2 have to have a pending momentum? I think it needs a pending momentum, right? So let's check. Yeah, so this actually wouldn't be a V2, Patricia. I know I saw that too because there's no wick on top, but there would have to be a pending momentum, confirmed pending momentum direction of trade in order for us to take that one there. So yeah, it would have been a V2 if there was a pending momentum, but we already had a sell momentum here. And that's kind of what separates this strategy from the variations. These high-low quick scalps, they don't require pending momentum. So it wouldn't necessarily require it. Let's see, Medusa said pending V1 buy on the 5-minute. So I totally missed the the daily over here. I don't know if anyone saw the daily, but it came here for a sell on the 5-minute. There's another V1 pending right here as well for a swing back to the upside that Madhu just mentioned. Only problem is that the candle is super huge, so I wouldn't be able to take that there. It's like way out of criteria. But yeah, there is a V1 coming there. So if we have this playing out right here, this can probably provide us an idea that price is likely to keep pushing up from that point. So the Fed is going to start speaking soon. I'm not going to mark up news price here because they don't start exactly on time. But we'll see where this, ends up going. Now that we have a bullish momentum here, we're looking for a low, right? We're looking for a low here to provide us possible entry here. All right, so nothing to take right now at the moment. Seems like a lot of people are still waiting for the Fed to start speaking. But yeah, Fed Cook should be speaking shortly if he's not speaking already. All right, so right here we have a bullish momentum. We're looking for a low here to provide an entry for a high-low quick scalp. For the V1s, we're not necessarily looking for any V1s right now. Reason for that's because there's no clear direction. 4-hour trend's bullish, 1-hour trend's bullish, 30-minute trend's bullish, 15 is bearish, and the 10-minute is bearish. So these are kind of conflicting right here. So we're not looking for V1s at the moment until we have, some sort of confirmation that price is moving one direction or the other. The problem with the V1s here is that you only want to trade them when price is actually moving directional. Right now, price is not necessarily moving directional. It's it's swinging back to the upside. So let me go over here and remark up the market structure so that you guys can see here where price is going. All right, so we got market structure right here. Pretty much price is going sideways. We go to mark up opening price right here, 630. 8 o'clock. So you can see that price is moving directional to the downside. However, it is now going sideways at the moment. So price faked out to the bottom, faked out to the top, now dropped below, and it's now continuing to drop lower and lower. The main thing you want to look out for is for price to continue going lower. And that's the main reason why we're not looking for any variation V1s right now, because we're not necessarily looking to take this back up, at least not yet until the trend over here has changed. At least the 10-minute. 10-minute still bearish. So these right here are conflicting. It's bearish, bearish, bullish, bullish, bullish. Fundamentals are down 200 points. So you obviously want to look for some sells here, but it's just too risky of a move. So this is a V1 right here, but it's too risky of a move in my perspective. There's a V1 right here, double body. And it looks like it hit full TP right there. So I'm just being conservative, guys. Today's Friday, so you're going to get a lot of these weird movements, and there's no clear direction as to like where price is going. But right here, this is the V1 that we would have taken if like the overall bias here was bearish. But right now, it's not really pointing that way. It's kind of just going in both directions at the moment. Just want to be careful because the Fed is speaking right now too. They might say something to cause price to spike up. They might say something to cause price to spike down. There's a lot of uncertainty in which direction to be trading. See, Maddie said the 10-minute printed for a daily sell. Check that real quick. Yeah, so for the daily entry today, it's actually a sell. On the 10-minute over here. Here goes price drops back lower. All right, if we get a sell signal right here, Well, I mean, if we get a sell signal anywhere, really, I'm looking for a possible entry for, let's see. Trying to hold off on the V1s, but we'll look for the high-low quick scalps and the SR rejections. I don't think we'll get any SR rejections anytime soon right here because we need a wick rejection off this structure. We can't get that unless we have a sell signal. So if the sell signal ends up down here, price pushes up, sell signal is going to go away. All right. So our main thing here that we can take or that we can look for is going to be the high-low quick scalp. The closest zone is right here, but in order for price to get to that point, this sell signal is probably going to disappear, right? And we need a sell signal for that strategy. So to see where it goes. All right, so we're looking for a high here to come up. Don't have it yet. Price pushes up too high though, a buy signal is going to come up. It's going to invalidate this. We can't take any high-low, any SR scalps. So let's see. I'm still looking for sells here. We have a couple confluences. 10-minute over here is still running. This is the daily entry, or the 10-minute. When you were looking at Madu, the V1 here actually hit full TP already. Not one that I'd take because the candle was too big, but it did push up 500 pips right here. Then it came right back down. Back to the 1 minute. Still nothing for us to take right now. Yeah, my MFF's still not logging in. I'll have to message their support to see what's up. So main thing I'm looking for here, guys, is a high. We don't have a high here yet, but it's going to happen at some point. The reason I know that's because we already have a low here. If we have a low, the next swing is going to have to be a high. All right. Still no high there. Volatility is kind of dying down a little bit. It's getting closer to 8. I'm trying to here. I'm gonna look up on YouTube to see if Fed member Cook. We got a pending buy signal right there. Yeah, there's no live stream for Fed member Cook, which is fine. All right, still no high here. That's the main thing we're looking for. There's not going to be an SR rejection because you guys can see right here, if price pushes anywhere above this area here, so price pushes above any of this area right here, you're going to get a buy signal. So if you get a buy signal, there's not going to be an SR rejection. What I'm looking for here is some sort of high to come up. Because if we at least get a high at some point, we can look for the high-low quick scalp. Variations right now, there's nothing for us to take either. I mean, I guess if we have a high, it'll work for both. We'll be able to look for a high-low scalp, high-low quick scalp, and we'll also be able to look for a variation for a sell here. For my guess, it looks like price is going to keep dropping lower. And it keeps bouncing around a lot. but the sentiment here is going up. A lot of people are trying to buy the dip, which is completely fine because we're going to do the opposite and sell. So that right there kind of went up a little bit. Looking over here at the fundamentals, they're currently down 137 points. So it's not as strong as it was earlier, but it's still pretty strong. 4 hours bullish, 1 hour is bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 15 minute is bearish, 10 minute is bearish, 1 minute is bearish as well. So we're still looking for sells here. Trying to see if we can get something, but the volatility here is just not moving at all. Natasha said the spread is now 170. Is that still too wide? No, that's perfect. Anything below 190 is fine, Natasha. Anything over 240 is wide. If you look at the market during Asia session, it's like at 320. So that's super wide. If it's anything over like 280, I definitely don't take any trades. Anything around 240 during Asia session, I'll probably maybe slip in a trade or two. Anything below 190 is perfect. That's where spread should be. And the spread will tell you how volatile the market is, right? If the market's moving very quickly, the spread's going to be low. If the market's moving slow, the spread's going to be high. So that's going to be the idea. Yeah, there's a possible, it's too late. Yeah, sorry, Madhu. Madhu is right. This is exactly what we were looking for. As you guys can see, it happens super quickly. This closed with the high, and then right here, there's a quick wick rejection, and this would have been the sell. So I totally missed that trade right there. That would have been the trade that we were waiting for. So full TP right there off that. Yeah, Madhu said possible high-low quick scalp. There was one right there. Happened so quickly. This is why you have to really be focused on the charts, because you'll miss these trades. They'll happen so quick. And this is what I was talking about. So you have a high here, sell momentum. We had a little wick right here, right? As soon as the wick showed, you enter the sell right there, and it would have blasted right through your TP. It's like, so this is like basic price action. It's just that we use the indicators because it happens so quickly. You can't backtest the strategy. That's a problem with this here. You can't backtest it to see how well it works. If you have to do it real time, because you can see how lucrative it is. If you watch this real time. Yeah, exactly. Cern said the momentum indicator put him off. Right here, there was a pending buy signal, right? Cern, that's why I stopped looking at it too. There's a pending buy signal here, but then as soon as it closed, it came off. So it's all good. It's gonna happen. Yeah, exactly. Cern saw exactly what I saw. So, but these entries come up a lot. So you guys saw my entries from yesterday. I took about like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I took about like 8 trades in like 10 or 15 minutes. And this would have added up to like over 10,000 in profit. So, I mean, if you guys can glue your eyes to the screen for like, 30 minutes or so, you can easily catch a lot of these moves. Yeah, Maddie said, damn, Sean, this thing is crazy. Crazy how you noticed this. Yeah. So yesterday when we were on the live, I know you were on the live yesterday, but I was trying to figure out, well, I wasn't trying to figure out, but I kind of had an idea of like what Kevin has been applying. And it's basically this. Because you would see his trades sometimes where he has like a lot of trades and they happen right after each other. And his explanation was typically, those price action like bouncing off structure. These high lows also act as structure. It's like invisible structure because you don't have the structure drawn up, but you can see that these high lows are areas where price rejects off. So it's basically exactly what Kevin was kind of applying when he was trying to explain a strategy to us. But it just didn't make sense, right? But now it's making sense because I'm using, I guess, better price points for you guys to identify these entries, because I know he would look on the higher time frames and look for like these zones and stuff, but for this here, you're just looking for these high lows. Like, yeah, you have to be super quick, but if you can be super quick, you can make a ton of money trading this one strategy as well. And then you have a bias. Every time you guys take a trade, you should always have a bias. And right here we have a sell momentum. That's why we're looking for sells. Yeah, no, definitely. I do too, Natasha. All right, Patricia, we'll see you back here on Monday. So have a great weekend. I'll catch you then. Let's see, Patrick said again, pretty safe with that huge low high wick rejecting off the SR zone too. Yeah, exactly. And that could be another confluence that you guys use. If you see the wick rejection off like another structure and it's a big wick, typically it's going to push at least 100 pips in that direction. So still looking for more entries here, but I don't have anything yet at the moment. Patricia just posted her profit. She locked in a total of 2,415 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. So yeah, great way for you to close out the trading week. I'll see you back here on Monday. Some more profits over here from Dejan. He said he sold off the news. He'll see us next week. He has an exam to take, so good luck with your test, Dejan. Total profit of 81 for the day. Solid work right there, Dejan. And then Scotty over here currently at 5,082 for the day. Solid. See, Maddie said, yeah, this thing's going to test London low. Yeah, and I can see that too, Maddie. It's coming right down to it. So the London low is right down here. So looking over here at the overall bias again, 10-minute is bearish, 15 minutes still bearish, 30-minute is bullish. So not much has changed. Looking over here at the sentiment is still at 55. Yes, 55% long. Looking over here at the fundamentals, currently down 259 points. All right, so the bias here is, I mean, still kind of all over the place, but it's looking fine. I'm looking for another high here to come up so that we can possibly look for an entry. There's not going to be any SR scalps here. It's going to be about 14 minutes till 8, so I'm not looking for any SR scalps, but we may have a possible variation for a sell if it comes up, or we can have a possible. And so the thing with this entry right here, as you guys can see, this is a V1 continuation, right? There's a double body right there. So this is like a double confluence. You have a double body right here. This indicates a reversal pattern. It's a V1 entry. And then on top of that, we also had the high-low quick scalp. So you had two strategies of aligning on one candle right there, and it lined up perfectly. So let's see where this goes. Maybe we can get one before, the end of market close. So with this right here pushing up, see if we can look for an entry here. I'm more inclined to take sell here, but we'll see if price does give us a buy. If price gives us a buy, I'll follow it. I'm probably not going to take it, but I'll follow it. Possible entry here for a sell, actually. So we have the high right there. If this next one gives us a wick, possible entry for a sell on the next candle. We got about 20 seconds left on this candle right here. So just follow the next one and see if you can find that wick rejection. So if this comes up here, I'll take it. About 10 seconds left on this candle. Keep watching for the next candle though. That's going to be the main one to really look at. So we're looking at it right here. So we got the wick rejection right there. Let me see if I could probably get into it over here. Not too late. Where is my FTMO? It's giving me an error right now. So I'm trying to get into it, but it keeps giving me this error. I'm gonna try to enter it. I don't know if you guys are having issues with it. Actually, it failed. It failed and hit TP. So did you guys catch that? I was trying to enter it. It kept giving me this error on the MT4, but it finally failed. Thankfully, it was just one entry. But there goes an example of the entry right here, guys. So full TP off that. I told you guys I was going to take it, so I'm going to count this trade. Natasha got it. Madhu caught it. Patrick caught it. Maddie caught it. Brian got it. Sharon got it. Nice, guys. So patience, right? You guys waited for that entry. Played out perfect. And there we go with that full TP. So, all right, guys, there's one trade for the day. Rashida caught it as well. This strategy is super, super simple, guys. Like, I don't know how much simpler it can get. You just have to be paying attention. That's really the key here. If you can pay attention, you're solid. Like, I mean, if you guys got ADD, just focus for at least a few minutes, like 30 minutes. I think if you could focus like 30 minutes, you can probably catch at least one or two trades. I mean, I got ADD myself, so this is kind of hard for me to focus, but the money is really what makes me focus, because after seeing all these profits from yesterday, I'm like, man, this thing really works. And I was taking in both directions. So yeah, guys, solid profits right there. I'll post up my profits over here as well. Hopefully you guys like this new strategy, because this is one of my favorites now. It comes up so often where it's like, I mean, you can just be sitting here and catching everything that comes up, basically. So I'm going to go and put this right here. For the new, I got to stop using the name K2 because I got to get used to just calling Kodi Kyer or something else. 1 minute, US30, 1 minute, high low. Quick scalp. So we'll look for another one here, guys. I'm going to take a screenshot of my profits over here. Unfortunately, one of my accounts did not copy it. As I mentioned, stupid MFF is not working right now. Super annoying. Let me just take a screenshot of that real quick. Take a screenshot of this, and then I'll take the individual screens as well. All right, so here's the profits that I locked in, and we'll move this real quick so you guys don't think we're still in position. This is why you have to pull out right away, right? You can't get greedy with these moves here. Here's my profits. Here's my main FTMO, locked in 970, FTMO copier, locked in 1,120. My Hinko personal account, I don't know why it's only 250, but whatever, some slippage there, I guess. Made $2 on that account. My first MFF 960, second MFF 960, my third MFF 0 because it's not copying my trades right now, and my TFF 1,570. So those are all my profits. Profits locked in off that scale. Session. All my accounts, solid. So, all right, there goes the trade right there. Natasha said, I haven't traded all week. Finally found a strategy I like. Nice work, Natasha. So she hasn't traded all week, kind of played around with it, had a couple losses, a couple wins, total profit of 249 for the day. Great work, Natasha. Scotty over here up 6,081 for the day. Nice work, Scotty. And you guys are on fire for a Friday. It's pretty solid. Maddie took the same strategy at 741, lined up with B1 continuation. Nice, we got stopped out in profit. Great work. Jonathan over here playing around with this account. He locked in some pretty good profit so far too. Locked in about well over 2,000 profit for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. Yeah, if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free. So there's no entry right here, guys. I was just looking at this real quick. We have a buy signal here, so we need a low, not a high. Patrick over here with his profits currently up 6,203. All wins, no losses for the day. Nice work, Patrick. Nice, nice. I'm seeing that a lot of you guys are starting to pick up on the strategy here, right? The strategy is not that difficult. It's super simple. Patrick over here as well. He said locked in London profits. Now time to enjoy the weekend. Patrick over here locked in a total profit of 5,522. Nice work, Patrick. Both of the Patricks. Nice work. Anelli over here as well. So Madhu locked in a total profit of 1,270. Nice work, Madhu. Yeah, so as you guys can see, this is a super lucrative strategy. If you guys can just focus for a few, like maybe an hour or so, and just watch these, because these high lows come up super often. If you see when these high lows come up, they come up at least like every couple of minutes. So if you're just waiting for these high lows to come up, you can catch the quick scalps in between. Because typically what happens, like the logic behind the strategy is we have a bullish momentum, right? So what happens when you have momentum? This is what you guys want to look at. When you have momentum, price goes up, it goes down, and it keeps going up, right? So this is the logic right here, why we're taking those trades, because when price does come down a little bit like this right here, it establishes a low, odds are it's going to keep pushing up. So when it does push up, we catch that little move within that direction, and we get in and out of profit super quickly. So it's basically it's a price action type strategy, but the indicators over here make it easy because you're not guessing where these high lows are, right? Because there can be a bunch of high lows here. Like for example, if you didn't have the indicator here, you probably would have counted all these as highs, right? Before they happen. So you'd be like, okay, this is a high, and this is a high, and now this is a high. Which one's a real high, right? You can't really confirm because it just keeps pushing. So that's basically what helps with identifying these things. Looking over here on the 10-minute, the daily entry also hit full TP. If you guys take the daily entry, it's 1,500 pips right there, full TP, little to no drawdown. So I didn't take the trade, it's not going to count, but I just wanted to show you guys that it did hit. Thanks, Maddie, for calling this out earlier, because Maddie did identify it when it was right back at break even. So if you guys caught that right there, daily entry, full TP. Other than that, it's 7:55 right now, guys. It's about 5 minutes till 8. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If there's any confusion, any examples that you guys need me to show you, it's going to be hard for me to show you guys examples of the strategy because I have to show you it real time for the high-low quick scalp. But you know, if there's any confusion there or anything that you guys need any clarification on, just let me know so I can clear it up for you. This is not an official strategy yet. We just came up with this yesterday. You know, I kind of just cracked the code on like what certain people were doing, being able to lock in like, you know, 10, 20 trades super quickly within like an hour of time, because these entries come up very often. So I think it's pretty solid. I mean, if we could keep finding entries like this is a good like in-between strategy, because if there's no V1s, then there's nothing we can take. There's actually a V1 right here, but the overall bias right here is not very confirming, right? So there was a V1 right here, actually, that just hit full TP. Jonathan said Steven will love this. I know Steven's actually coming back, guys. So Steven messaged me today and he asked me if he can come back. I was like, yeah, bro, of course. So as we predicted, his EA he bought into did not work at all. And he blew a couple accounts, and now he's coming back to K2. It's the same cycle. You'll probably see Steven here in the next couple of days or so. I know it sucks, but it is what it is. Some people have to make mistakes and learn from them. Hopefully he learned and he's not going to buy any more of these EAs that he's seeing online to pass his challenges. But he'll be back soon. Natasha said, I'm going to test it some more. It seems to work pretty good. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Natasha. Patrick mentioned, actually, I think the quick scalp could be back tested. Just have a look for the high low, look for the next candle and set a TP stop loss brace on price moving back to the candle's opening. Yeah, no, exactly. That's how I'm testing it too, Patrick. So if you guys want to go and test it, this is one way to do it. So what you'll do here is you'll just go back. Like, for example, you see an entry right here, right? So we have a sell momentum and you have a high right here. So what Patrick is saying is basically you go back to that candle, you look at the next one after it, and then you'll measure your entry from where the wick starts, because you're literally waiting for where the wick starts, right? So you can see for this candle here, price pushes up slightly, and then it comes down and then it blasts right through the TP. This is an example that we showed you here on the live, and that's one way to back test it. It's one way to back test it, but I think doing it real time is really going to help with your trade psychology, because you're going to see a lot of wins and you're going to have them happen real time. So when you see that, it's going to make you really confident with taking these trades during that time frame. Let me try to put some requirements up here for this strategy. So this is going to be the 1 minute high low quick scalp strategy. So first, identify direction of momentum using momentum indicator. 2, if sell momentum, identify high. If buy momentum, identify low. So I'm going to put this right here. And these are going to be rough drafted strategies, right? This isn't going to be the end all be all. We're still trying to figure out like what's next. So if sell, identify, I'm gonna have to just separate these for buy, sell. So let me see if there's any other entries here. Still nothing for us to take right now, so I'll just keep going along with this. So I'll just put these requirements up here if you guys want to practice this over the weekend. For buy, identify direction, bullish direction. Identify low, low indicator. Second, it's your assume. See bottom. Wick here. TP stop loss. So I'll just do that for now. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just opposite for sells. Then for the sell, same thing. Identify bearish momentum, identify high. Top Wick rejection. Here. All right, so it's pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, nothing crazy. And you have the requirements right there. So if you guys want to test this strategy over the weekend, if you guys have a lot of free time and just want to play around with it, you guys can see. And if you guys want to refer back to this live session to identify, how to back test it, you guys can do that as well. But it's super simple. It's 8:02 right now, so it's after 8. I think we're done for the day. Sure, Patrick, I got you. Give me 1 second. Let me take a screenshot of my profits first so that they're kind of in order. And then we will, I'll do that. I just like having everything kind of posted in order so we can look back at it. All right. Got the first FTMO. Still looking for entries here, but I don't think I'm going to take anything. It's past 8 already. I'm pretty content with my profits for the day so far. That one's good. TFF is good as well. I got to fix my MFF. I got to figure out what's the problem with this. It's super annoying. Basically missed out on like $1,000 profit because the other account wouldn't connect. And I don't know how my Hanko. I'm assuming it was slippage. All right, so let me post this up real quick and then I will post up the requirements for that specific strategy. All right. So let me go and just update this real quick. Should I have all this stuff on here? So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat, guys. Otherwise, we'll be wrapping this up shortly. I'll put the requirements here for that strategy so that you guys can look it up, or if you guys want to practice it, you guys are free to practice it. The only way you guys will get better at this is by practicing, right? You can't expect to join, have the indicators, not actually practice, right? It's not going, it doesn't work like that. Because I see a lot of people, and it's not just with me, but I've talked with other people in different groups, other trading groups, and it's always a common thing, right? People always want to blame the strategy, or they want to blame the person teaching for it not working, but realistically, that person didn't really practice at all, and they just didn't know what they were doing. So that's why it wasn't working for them. The only way for you guys to get better is if you guys practice this stuff. I try to show you guys as much examples as possible, and I make myself available, but it really comes down to you guys. If you guys really want to get this trading stuff down, you have to put in the work and actually learn it. So with this new strategy, you guys can test this out. It's a super simple strategy. The more you practice it, the easier it'll be for you to spot. And I will put the requirements for this in the chat over here as well, so that you guys can follow it. I'll put this here, just put a note. So I'm just going to put that as temporary requirements while testing, because we haven't really figured it out yet. So let me go and just copy this stuff over real quick as well over here. Put this over here as well. But yeah, guys, I mean, whoever's been with K2 for a while, with the group for a while, you guys have seen that, we've evolved over the years. Things are going to change here. Just because the name's changing, and the thing is, I'm not really that focused on teaching as much. I'm always looking for ways to make money for you guys, right? Not just for me, but also for you guys. Because, if we weren't killing it every single day, people wouldn't come back. So the thing is, I'm always looking for new ways to make money. And when I do find them, I do share them with you guys pretty much every time. So, it's a long-term game. The market's going to change. There's going to be different types of conditions. We have a lot of strategies here to apply, but I've kind of narrowed it down to 3 strategies that work very well, basically during different market conditions. So the V1s work good during directional conditions. The SR rejection works well during ranging conditions. And now this new strategy, this high-low quick scalp, works in pretty much all conditions as well. There just has to be volatility in the market. So, other than that, guys, I'm pretty excited to apply this for the rest of the year, because now we have an in-between strategy, because you can see that V1s don't come up very often. The SR rejections don't come up very often, but these high-low quick scalps come up super often. There's actually another one right here, but it's right at the sessions. So we wouldn't be able to take this trade here. But yeah, this would be the entry, I guess. It's right at the sessions though, so it's not one that I would necessarily take, but you can see right here, if it does swing back up, it would hit its TP. It's right at the sessions though, so it's obviously huge red flag, because there can be manipulation right there. But if there wasn't a sessions right there, it looks like this could have been a pretty lucrative move right there. If price does make its way back up, which it does, and it looks like it's about to hit its TP there as well. So all right, guys, I think that's it for now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. Otherwise, I think this will be it for this week. So if you guys made profit today, great. If you guys haven't posted them up, feel free to post them up, and I'll add them to the profits to be shared today. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys back here on Monday. Same place, same time, as we take on the next trading week. Let me check the calendar real quick. So yeah, I don't really see anything on Monday. So I think we should be good, back to our normal schedule. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys then. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me at sean@kodikaitrades.com. If you guys are new here and you guys don't have access to the indicators, just go on the website, kodikaitrades.com. And you can get access here. Also, if you guys are on the YouTube, if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because when I come up with these new strategy videos, I will be posting them up on the YouTube channel. So all right, guys, other than that, I will see you guys then. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you guys here on Monday.